I'm Megan from Warm Glass, and today I'm just going to take you through the new touchscreen controller on the Paragon SC2 Kiln. So here you can see the control panel. You've got things like menu, where you can check the diagnostics and data of your kiln. You can also adjust things like whether your kiln is set to Fahrenheit or centigrade. So you can scroll through those options by just pressing this scrolling tab on the side here, so you can see all of the options here. So it's touchscreen, so you can use your finger to do this. If you do find it easier though, you can also use a stylus. This can come in handy when you're putting in the names of your programs because the letters can be quite small to touch. So that's what you get in the menu tab. So if I go back to, you can either use the back button or you can go home to go back to the home screen. This is the idle screen. You can see that because it says idle at the top here. And you can see things like the current temperature of the kiln, the previous runtime of the previous firing in the kiln. This one hasn't been fired yet, so it's just saying 0 there. So to load a program into your kiln, you can just use this load button here. And you can see there's two options in that load there. So when you first get your kiln, it will have some preset firing programs already loaded into it, and they are under this glass tab here. So if I select that one, you can see you have a slump, a tack fuse and a full fuse there. And if I scroll down on the side, you also have a casting schedule. Those are all set and ready for you to use, so you can just select the one that you want. So if I selected a tack fuse there and said OK, it would load it in and pop it up on the home screen there, and I could just press start and that would run that tack fuse program. If I wanted to put my own firing program into the kiln, I would go load again, and instead of selecting glass, I would choose the custom option. So here you can see I've already programmed in a full fuse into this section, but if I wanted to program in my own slumping schedule or anything else for that matter, you just select one of the blank options, and you can see you do have quite a lot of options in here. There are some other preset programs for things like precious metal clay and things. If you wanted to do a different technique in there, they are already programmed in there. But I would just select one of the blank ones for your programming in of a new schedule and just select OK. And here then we can go back, instead of just pressing start because there's nothing programmed in that blank one yet, you would select edit. So this is then going to take me into the edit option. So I'm going to do a slump schedule just to demonstrate for you here. And my slumping schedule has 3 segments. So the first thing I want to do is just press this number 1 here, because at the moment I've just got 1 segment in here. So I'm going to press this number 1 and just select insert segment. And then I'm going to do that again. And it's just copying that first segment that's already programmed in there. And now what I can do is I can go in and edit those. So I'm going to select that first segment, and instead of the 111 degrees centigrade per hour, I'm going to change that to 167. So you would just change that by overwriting those numbers and then press save. And then the 93, I'm going to change to 640 degrees centigrade, save, and then I'm going to keep, it's already at 10 minutes hold time, but if I wanted to change that, I would just select the 10 minutes and change that. So I'll just keep it as 10 minutes and select save. So I'm going to do that for the same for the next segment. So segment 2, I want to be full speed, so 999 down to 482, and I want to do that for 1 hour. And then the last segment, I want 83 down to 371 and no hold. There we go. So now what I want to do is I want to edit the name of this firing schedule. So I just pressed on the name there up at the top, and I'm going to delete where it says blank 2 by pressing this back button here. And this is where you might find a stylus in handy, because these letters and numbers are quite small. So I'm going to select the letters and I'm just going to call it a slump. If I can spell. Where's P? P. Okay, so I've just put slump in there and I'm just going to select save. So there we go. I can just check then. It's just brought up the whole program there. So it says slump at the top and I've got my firing schedule. So up to 640, hold for 10 and then on to annealing. And I'm happy with that. So that's saved. Then I'm going to go back. And there we go. We've got my custom user to slump and I will just press start. And I can now choose if I want to start the kiln running now, start it later, so that would be programming in a delay, so I can have it so that it's not going to start firing until maybe later in the evening when the electricity tariffs might be a little bit cheaper. Or you can select remote start. To do a remote start, you will need to make sure your kiln is linked up to the Wi-Fi. But if you select start now, the kiln will start running, so you can hear it's clicking now. But I don't want it to run, so I'm just going to stop that there. So by just pressing that stop button and it goes back to idle. So that's the new touchscreen controller for the Paragon SC2. I hope this has been helpful.